I was 17 when I found out my dad's garage was on the brink of shutting down. I wasn't supposed to know. I overheard him on the phone with the bank, his voice shaking, begging for 30 more days. That was the first time I'd ever heard fear in his voice. Our family business of 20 years, the place where I learned to ride a bike, where Dad spent most of his life, it was about to vanish. He didn't say a word to us kids. That night, he came to dinner with red eyes, told us he was just tired from work. Mom squeezed his hand under the table. I pretended not to notice. The next morning, I skipped school and broke into his office. What I saw hit harder than any test grade ever could. Overdue bills, final notices, and a $5,000 gap on the mortgage. He'd already sold his truck and drained his savings. He had nothing left to give. That afternoon, I walked into my high school counselor's office and withdrew every cent from my college fund. $6,200. My grandparents had been building it since the day I was born. My hands were trembling so badly, I almost couldn't sign the withdrawal forms. I told the bank lady it was for a car. She just smiled like she knew I was lying. I walked home with the envelope tucked into my sock, heart pounding like it would punch through my chest. That night, while everyone was asleep, I slipped the cash into the pocket of Dad's work jacket. I left a note with it that read, "An anonymous donor believes in Wilson's Auto." I figured he'd think it came from the church or one of his old customers. For weeks, I panicked every time the mail arrived, waiting for someone to ask what happened to the college account. When the bank finally sent the statement, I grabbed it first and burned it on the backyard grill. Dad never found out. The garage stayed open. When it came time for college applications, I told everyone I'd changed my mind about going away. Said I wanted to stay local. Dad looked disappointed, but nodded and said, "Sometimes the best education is right here in town." Now it's been 2 years. I'm working at the garage by day, taking community college classes at night. Last week, Dad mentioned he's thinking of adding my name to the sign out front. He still doesn't know. But every time I see him laugh with a customer or teach a kid how to change their oil for free, I know. That $6,200 was the best investment I'll ever make. Because sometimes the biggest risks aren't the ones that change your life. They're the ones that keep someone else's dream alive.